Adventure Pals, have you ever wondered how animation is created? Don't you just love seeing your favorite animated characters come to life right there on the screen? Well, you know what? If you want to learn more about this amazing art form, stay tuned. Discovery Jones Expeditions is coming up next.
Snooper alert! I believe we're under attack. The Snoopers tracking and reporting satellite has identified an incoming launch.
To the detective shop, Squirt. Not too fast!
Interesting. Oh, Discovery! Discovery! Can you come in here, please?
Hey, Rusty, what you need?
Well, I can't find what I'm looking for. Will you help me?
Well, I'll try, but what are you looking for?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how you could turn a picture into a cartoon. I just can't understand it, Discovery.
Oh, I see. You've been watching cartoons this afternoon.
Yeah, and it got me thinking. If cartoons are drawings, what makes them move? How do the characters move their mouths when they talk? How do they walk? How do they run? I just don't get it, Discovery.
Rusty, it's a process called animation. It's a little complicated to explain, but it's really cool.
Well, you know the other night when I told you that in my quiet time I was reading about following God's will for my life and discovering God's plan for my future? And how I knew that God wanted me to do something really special someday?
Yes, I remember.
Well, this is it.
What is it?
I'm going to be a cartoon animationer.
It's cartoon animator, Rusty. So what changed your mind? I mean, you've also told me that, let's see, you were going to be a firefighter, a rodeo clown, a race car driver, and well, at least a half a dozen other things.
Yeah.
What made you decide to become a cartoon animator all of a sudden?
Well, it's like this. I'm a really good drawer.
Yeah.
All my friends at Squirrel Academy say so, and my pictures make people smile. So I want to use my talent and become a cartoon drawer. I just need to find out how to do it.
Well, Rusty, it's always a great idea to discover ways to use our God-given talents, but you've got to get, well, plenty of time to decide exactly what you want to be when you grow up. I'm sure that if you still want to be a cartoon animator when you grow up, you'll be great at it.
Well, Discovery, do they have Cartoon Animator College? I mean, is there a place I could go to learn how to become a cartoon drawer?
Well, that's a great question, little buddy. I'm sure that, well, I'll tell you what, I know exactly who we can ask.
Oh, who?
Well, it just so happens that I know some people who create a really cool animated show. I think you've seen it before. It's called Super Snoopers. Maybe they can tell us more about the process involved in learning to become a cartoon animator.
Super Snoopers? Burt and Squirt are so funny, and I love Professor Noodle.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool. Can you really talk to them for me? That would be the most super fantastical, extremely radicalicious thing you've ever done for me almost.
Wow, Rusty, I can see you're pretty excited. I tell you what I'll do. I'll give my friend John a call and see if he has time to show us around and give me some information that might help you. How's that sound?
Oh, fluff my fur, Discovery. You're the most awesomest, most incrediblest friend a squirrel ever had.
Okay, thanks, Rusty. Now, you need to get busy with that homework that Mrs. Squiggles assigned you today, and I'll see about meeting with John.
Okay, goodbye, Discovery.
See you later.
Thanks a bunch. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. It's so hard concentrating on my schoolwork when I have a great cartoon to create. Oh, I just know God wants me to grow up and be the world's best cartoon drawer.
I heard that. First things first, Rusty, get the homework done.
Oh, okay. I've got to quit talking to myself out loud. Discovery hears everything. But my homework is important, and I have to work as if I'm working for the Lord. And that's the truth.
Well, this is it. We're here at the home office of the Inspiration Network in Charlotte, North Carolina, and today we're going to find out more about one of my favorite animated shows, the Super Snoopers. We're going behind the scenes to find out how animation works. Let's check this out. Well, here we are with the creator of Super Snoopers himself, John Napa. John, how are you, sir?
Fine, thank you, Discovery.
This is exciting. You have created quite a wonderful program here, and my buddy Rusty back at Adventure Central loves the show.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Well, in fact, he wants to become an animator one day, or so he thinks at this point, and I told him there's a lot of steps involved. You're the man to talk to, so what are those steps?
All right, well, there's basically 5 steps. Although they take a long time, this project's been in development for almost 4 years now and been in production for a year. But the 5 steps are you come up with an idea, and in this case, the idea was Burt and Squirt Snooper, 2 truth sleuths, Bible detectives, if you will, designed to inspire kids to navigate through the scriptures at an early age. And we use some special devices like the helmet helper you see
And I
here.
understand there's many of them.
There are many of them in the show. We trust the kids will like that. After we have the idea, we write it in script form. We bring illustrators together. They draw thousands of pictures until we get them right. Then we take it to animators. We have more meetings, and then they begin to model them. They animate them. They light them. Then they send them into editing. We add the voices, the music, the special effects, and then we have a show.
And that's the quick rundown, because this is a really collaborative effort. A lot of people involved, a lot of creative minds come together. The one thing that intrigues me the most is the computer animation. That is fascinating, and it's come a long way over the years. So I gotta ask you, can we meet up with some of the folks that work on the Super Snoopers?
Absolutely, they're expecting you. We have a team of top animators waiting for you right now.
Well, I am excited, and I can't wait to meet them.
I'm Burt.
I'm Squirt,
Detectives on the loose. I am the one with all the brains.
and I'm the silly goose. Quack, quack.
We're on the lookout.
For pout and gout,
We'll find his bloopers.
and toss them out.
Wow, this is so amazing. You know, Rusty thinks that maybe he'll become an animator someday. But no matter what he chooses to do, I'll be proud of him, because he understands one of the most important things that the Bible teaches us. Anything we do should be done as if we were doing it for the Lord. Now, this is really exciting, Adventure Pals. I'm in a company called Ex Vivo in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. That's just outside of Hartford, Connecticut. And I want you to meet somebody special behind the animation here. This is Perry Hirovis. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. Now, Perry, you're the director of Super Snoopers, right?
That's right.
Well, you've got a cool animation studio here, and we've got some neat pictures laid out in front of us. But I want to ask you first, how'd you get started in animation? How long have you been doing it?
About 12 years. I started out doing camera work and directing, and the first time I picked up a mouse and looked into the screen and saw what I could do, I was hooked. I never wanted to do anything else.
Wow, that's very cool. Well, again, I mentioned we got some pictures in front of us, a lot of cool characters and places and things. Can you kind of show us an example of what we're looking at?
Sure, I can show you this. This is a shot of Dr. Heckle, alias Mr. Pride. He's our henchman for episode 2. This is his cart that he basically travels around Wellesley in, and he sells his little devices to puff you up with false pride.
That's really great. And now here's a really neat color picture. Explain what this one is.
This is a street scene that we built out outside of Professor Noodle's house, and we basically built out every element, including every single one of those bricks in there, so that we could take our little virtual camera down any street and get a nice shot.
That is incredible. I mean, the detail involved is really impressive. Now,
you.
I also want to ask you about the collaborative process. When somebody comes to you at the animation studio with an idea and they're trying to explain what they want to see, I mean, how does that work? How important is it to work as a team and share your visions together?
It's crucial in 2 ways. It's crucial to have a connection between the creator, in this case John Napa, because everything started out in his head, and we're actually creating pictures from what he saw in his head. The other part of it is the collaboration between myself and my team members here. And we all are in the same environment and interacting every day, saying, that's really cool, what if you did that? What if you did that? And we try to make it better with every interaction. So collaboration is the key to all of this.
Wow, that's something else. Now, there's a lot of steps involved in this, because the idea to the drawings, but before we get to the actual computer and the animation, there's something called storyboarding, right?
Right.
Well, what's that like? What does that mean?
I can show you, we actually have some storyboards up here.
Cool, all right.
These are storyboards for episode 2, actually the end of episode 2, and it's basically every shot as I described it to our storyboard artist, Stacy, and it's basically where the camera's going to be placed, shot after shot.
Oh, I think I understand a little better now. It kind of shows you in a row, or in the sequence that it would show, right?
It's a sequence basically from beginning to end of the entire show that we then put to the audio track of the performers.
Gives you another idea of how much work is involved.
Right.
Now, right below that are a little more detailed pictures with more shadowing and stuff like that. These are really cool. What are we looking at there?
Well, this one here is Burt and Squirt's headquarters, and it's basically a design that we received from John and his artist that shows the room and everything in the room of their headquarters. We have to basically take this drawing, and actually in this case only this drawing is what we were provided with, and create and build out everything in there. Textures, lights, bumps, dents, scratches, everything in there.
Everything. That's incredible. Well, can I see that part of it? I mean, can we get to the computer aspect of this whole thing?
Yeah, we have about 20 computers in the other room if you want to see.
Cool. I bet we can find one.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Discovery, in here is where all the production happens.
Cool. Look at this. You got the computers set up and they're working hard. This is neat.
We have a whole team of people working on this project simultaneously to bring it to life.
Look at this. Now, what's this gentleman doing? There's a bunch of paperwork here on the side. There's some pictures there.
Yeah, this is Mark Bamforth, and he's our programmer. And he's actually taking these drawings, which are the designs for the skeleton that he's created, and he's taking that skeleton and attaching it to our character of Jacob to get it to move correctly and smoothly so that when it's on screen, it all looks correct.
Look at that. So he's actually taking that from the paper form. It goes in the computer, and now it's 3D. He's moving it around, making it work.
Yeah, it's like a little digital puppet. A lot of what he does is very complex. There's a lot involved.
It looks pretty intricate. I mean, do kids have to study a specific subject and really focus on something to get deep into it? Or?
There's a lot of very important subjects. For what Mark does, math is incredibly important. But if you want to do animation or modeling, there's a lot of other things. Staring out at the world and discovering how people interact with each other and how trees look outside. Drama is important. Photography is important. There's a lot of these things that all come together at the end of this project that all came from these other traditions.
What a great job to have. That's cool.
There's a whole lot of other stages involved, and if you want to take a look at modeling, which is very important, I can show you that if you like.
Let's do it.
Great. There are so many people involved in bringing this show together. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's definitely a teamwork, that's for sure.
Right here we have John Liebler. He's our lead modeler.
Hey, John. So this looks like you got a sketch of, looks like Poutin down on the screen, and obviously next to you is an illustration or a sketch of that character.
Yeah, that's the original sketch of Poutin Dow.
And right next to that looks like a city or a town or something.
That's the downtown dock area of Wellesley.
Okay, very good.
And what John's actually done is taken the sketch that we were provided by the artist and scanned it into the computer and put it in the backdrop. Then what he does is, point by point, he starts building up a 3D low-resolution cage.
Wow, and look at all those. I mean, that's obviously a time-consuming process.
Very time-consuming. He pulls and pushes points all day to get it into this form. Once it's in this form, though, it's obviously very rough. It has to be smoothed, and that's fairly easy. He can just smooth it all down like that.
Boy, all the little details are coming out now. One thing, except it looks like half a head. Now, how do you make that a complete head?
Well, again, we take advantage of the power of a computer, and all he really has to do is take something that's symmetrical, like a head, and mirror it and copy it to the other side. When the two are joined, you end up with a full head.
Wow, that is awesome. Look at that.
So this is how the characters actually start coming to life.
They certainly do. Now, other than characters, you got a lot of, other kinds of details that you work with. You got the buildings and the street scenes. Does he have something like that that he's been working on?
He's actually working on a downtown side street to Wellesley, and I think he can show you part of that now. It starts to be created by building being placed next to each other. And you can see some of the buildings here being placed on one side of the street. Now, there are intricate details here. If he zooms in, you can see that basically every brick, every doorknob, everything has to be built by hand and placed in the appropriate place.
That is incredible, especially when you're dealing with something like the bricks or the windows, and that's amazing.
Yeah, you can see bevels on all of the bricks, and they're all laid out correctly.
This is very impressive, and it really gives you more of a clear understanding of why it takes so long to build a crisp and a clear animated project. I mean, it's amazing work.
Well, you know, from beginning to end, the production cycle for one of these shows is 6 months. And it's because all of this takes time. We all have to kind of coordinate each other and bring it down a pipeline to the finished product at a specific time for release.
Wow, look at that.
So once the stage is done here, we actually have to take the models and start to make them move, put them on the sets and make them move. And that's the animation stage, and I can take you to that right now.
Absolutely, let's check it out.
Great. Over here we have Dan Payrill. He's our lead animator on the show.
Hey, Dan. Now, this is really cool. You got a couple of characters on screen. It looks as though they're interacting with each other. Is that what we're seeing here?
Yeah, Dan's working on a scene between Mean Mr. Tim and Burt, and he's using storyboards that he has next to him, very much the same type of storyboards as we saw before, to bring this scene to life.
Wow, that is really cool. Now, and also obviously he's moving the whole scene, a kind of 3D effect, and that's neat.
Yeah, he has a virtual camera. He can place it anywhere and look at the scene from any angle, so
Wow.
he can get exactly the type of angle required in the storyboard.
Look at that. That is awesome.
One of the main things that he does is he takes the pre-recorded spoken words from the actors recorded at INSP, and he looks at his own face in a mirror like this and tries to decide how that would look when you speak a particular word. And then he transfers it to the character. So he has a slider where he's moving the ah symbol and it's opening and closing Jacob's mouth, and he tries to get it to look exactly the way it needs to get for the lip sync.
Wow, that is cool. Now, do you have any examples of that put together?
I think he does right up here.
I'm sorry, you don't have a banana nose. Actually, you have a very pretty face, and I want to be your friend.
That is awesome.
One of the other things Dan has that he's been working on is testing out the rigs that Mark created to see if the rig is working correctly and to see if it's deforming correctly. And he just took a random line of dialogue and did some lip sync and animation to it to see how it is all turning out. And I think he has a movie that he can show you for that.
I'm telling my mommy on you. Mommy!
That is great. What a cool thing to be working on.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
I also think that there's some similarities here with video games and the animation you're doing. Now, is there some way that they can interconnect, that they work together?
They're very similar. Everything that we've shown up till now is all applicable to video games. Really, the only difference is the end result. Does it go to television or does it go to a video game? And everything that we've shown right here is a lot of fun and applies to that.
That's great. And you know, for you guys, this is a great job to have because it's like getting to be a small child in a big kid body. I mean, it's awesome.
Most of us here are parents, and one of the best things about working on this show is we get to do a show that we're proud to have our children watch.
Great point.
Now this is the final stage in the whole process. This is texturing and lighting.
Okay, this is where you come in and do your thing, right?
Yeah, this is my
Now,
love.
We've got Burt and Squirt on the screen here, and the grass, everything looks so real, especially the sky. That is really cool.
Well, thanks. This is actually partially finished, but if you want to see it how it comes to me, it really looks like that.
Wow, like wire puppets almost. It's very basic.
All the animation's done, but it really only comes to life when you start doing things like adding textures and colors and lights to them. And I can show you what the final version looks like.
Oh, cool. Look at that. That looks really good. They're walking. That's neat.
Well, thanks, but as good as this looks, it's really only an illusion.
Oh, you're kidding me. Look at that's amazing. Now, I thought that they were walking in a full grass yard, but when you pulled that back, it's just like a stage with actors in real life.
The whole thing's a big illusion, and as long as it looks good to the camera, then it looks good to the viewers. And all of this is done through a process called texturing and lighting. I'm working on a part of it right now with Squirt. Now, if you notice, Squirt's in the scene, but the picture on the screen is completely dark.
Right, there's like nothing there.
Well, actually, Squirt is in the scene right now, but you don't see him because there are no lights. If I add a light,
Oh, wow, like turning a light on in a dark room.
right, he was always there, but you don't see him till the light's on. And if we move the lights, we get different dramatic effects like you would if you were in a play at school.
That is very cool. You know, as we learn more and more, the details they're just endless. I mean, this is really cool. Now, give me an idea what our adventure pals at home can do to learn what you do. I mean, are there certain classes they should focus on again, or what is it?
Well, it could be approached in many different ways. They could take drama, sculpture, photography, mathematics. All of those can apply, but you know, what we do here is an important part, but it's not the last part. After we're done here, we hand the show off on videotape, and they go off and do sound effects, music. I mean, there's a whole host of things.
Never thought about that. It looks so finished at this point, but you're right. I mean, there's a lot of people involved in this. Well, it's teamwork. It's quite an effort.
Yep.
You know, Perry, this has been an exciting experience, a learning experience. I know our Adventure Pals have had a great time. I know I have. I want to thank you so much for letting me stop by.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you again sometime.
Did you know that God created you for a purpose? Yeah, remember when Rusty said that during his quiet time, he read about following God's plan for his life? Jeremiah 29:11 in the Discovery Manual tells us that God has a plan for each of our lives. Part of God's plan for us is that we become more like Christ. So John, this is neat. It looks like you're just about done. A final product, huh?
We're just about out of the tunnel.
Now what are we doing right now?
This is the editing room, and in the editing room we put all the elements together. The sound effects, the voiceover, the music, and the picture.
Well, do you have a favorite part of the process? Because it is just about finished.
Well, you know, so much work has gone into every single frame that I can't pick one over the other.
Well, I know you've got a lot left to finish here just with the details at the end, so I'm going to sit back and watch you work if you don't mind, but I want to tell you something. Super Snoopers is an amazing project. I can't wait for all of our friends to see it at home.
All right, well, thank you.
You bet.
I'm pouting doubt, don't shout me out. I'll make you pout and I'll make you doubt, or else I will just kick you out. Pout and doubt, I'm just a low-down dirty lout. Wellesley, you're in trouble now.
Wow, you know, I have learned so much today about animation. This is so cool. John and his whole team do a fantastic job. You know, God gives each one of us unique talents and gifts for different types of work. But remember this, no matter what your talent is, God wants you on His team. We'll be right back.
Hey, Discovery, you're home.
Hey, little buddy. Yep, I am back from the land of cartoons and animation.
Well, that was awesome, Discovery. I learned so much.
You know, so did I. I never knew that creating cartoons was such an involved process, but it's really amazing, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. Discovery, it's my ambition to become an animator. Oh, I just thought of something.
What's that?
I have another ambition besides being an animator.
And what is it?
I want to make it my ambition to tell everybody I know about Jesus.
Oh, Rusty, now that is a fantastic ambition.
Yeah. Adventure pals, all you got to do is just pray and tell God that you want to let Jesus be in charge and get born again. It's really easy. So can we pray now? All right, friends, if you've never asked Jesus into your heart, pray with me, okay? Okay. Dear Jesus, please forgive my sins. I want you to know that I believe that you are God's Son and that you died for me, like it says in Romans 10, verse 9. I want to be born again today. I'm going to stop being in control of my life and let you have control. Thank you for saving me. Amen. So that's it. That's how you put your trust in Jesus. Discovery, that's it. I did it. I told everybody how they could make Jesus the Lord of their lives today.
Rusty, you sure did. Oh, and I want to remind our adventure pals that if they prayed with you today, they need to do us two big favors. First, go tell your mom or your dad that you've asked Jesus into your heart. And second, write us a letter or send us an email and tell us about your decision.
Yeah, we love getting mail. It's awesome to read your letters.
Rusty, this has been a great day at Adventure Central. Have you had fun?
Oh, I've had a fur-fluffing time today, Discovery. It's been the greatest.
Well, guess what? I believe it is time for us to say goodbye now.
Oh, okay, but you know I don't like saying goodbye.
I know, but will you help me tell our adventure pals what we always say?
Oh, sure.
Let's do it. I love you. Lots of people love you, but the one who made you loves you the most. Now, how are we coming along with this book?
Oh, it's coming along just fine.
Really
See
nice.
my drawings?
Yes, nice work.
This is the man himself,
Perry Rose.
Perry Rose. I am at Ex Vivo. It's a company up here in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. That's the state we're in. And here we are with the creator of Super Snoopers and...
That's the best thing he said all day.
Hey, Adventure Pals, the DJ Club Code of Conduct reminds us that if we confess with our mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in our hearts that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Rusty's ambition is to tell everyone this good news. It should be our ambition, too. We'll see you next time.